CEWT Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. This podcast is part of our continuing outreach efforts, and the format is conversation. We're having conversations with businesses, professionals, entrepreneurs, community agencies, and in all cases, difference makers. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So subscribe today. Take 20 minutes and hear from people living in your community who are making a difference in your community. It's time to get started with CEWT Talk. Hello, everyone. This is Jason Batalden, the Assistant Director at Continuing Education Workforce Training. And we've got a full house today. We got Paul. Good to see you today.
Always here.
That's right. We're knocking out season 3 like crazy. So podcasts are going nuts. And hey, have I talked about our new logo?
No, you haven't.
No. And by the way, that we've got Gary with us today too. So Paul and I got to be on our best behavior.
Yeah, we have to be professional today.
And we've got a really special guest today. So without much ado, I'm going to say the magic word, which is welcome. And we know when I say that, the 20-minute timer starts, but I got a feeling this isn't going to be a 20-minute episode. So anyway, Gary, welcome. I'm glad you're on the show with us today, and you got a special guest. So introduce.
Okay. Hey, thank you. And thanks, everybody. Welcome out there to our CEWT podcast. I'm really delighted to have Steve Quinton with us today. Steve is, some of you already know, he's a contractor. He's a teacher for us in our carpentry program. He's one of our leaders with Construction Combine, and we found out that he is an avid, passionate fisherman. In fact, before we started this thing, he was talking about cows. When I joined us, they're talking about cows because this guy's into everything. And today, though, we're going to spend some time on fishermen. Steve, really look forward to this. It's a pleasure to have you talk about fish. Maybe for the audience's sake, you could just say a few words about how you got here. I mean, you came to ISU and CEWT from a different direction. A few words on that, and we'll get started on fishing.
Okay, thanks, Gary. First of all, I want to thank you guys for letting me come on here and speak my mind. It's good to actually see you guys because I really haven't seen anybody for a year. You know, I've been kind of like...
Why? Why is that?
Oh, yeah, I know. I keep watching that movie Groundhog Days for inspiration. So anyway, it's like, but you know, hopefully around the turn of the year here, we all might be able to get out and start getting a line wet because, you know, hey, I haven't got a line wet all year. Nothing, you know.
Oh, line wet.
That's terrible, you know. But I tell you what, you know, I've been here, 6 years. I came over here and I met my wife and came over here and we just been sitting here enjoying this and not really enjoying this life, but enjoying what we can. Got a lot of hopes and a lot of visions out there, but sure miss that fishing, buddy.
Steve, I don't know. Where did you come from?
Well, born in Burbank, California. I'm a native Californian. Spent most of my life down in Pismo Beach, California.
Okay, all right.
And I migrated over here from the Pacific Northwest. Over from Long Beach, Washington.
And you migrated over here because you met your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That was the lure, you know. Take that dude and hook me right in. Yeah, that was a good one.
You know, she's going to watch this too, right?
Yes.
What's that, Gary?
She's going to be watching this later.
Oh, she probably will. Oh, I'm sure she will.
All right. Hey, well, thank you, Steve. Really appreciate that. We've enjoyed working with you. Let's talk about something more interesting here, more exciting. What is it about fishing that you like? I mean, why are you into the fishing?
Wow. Okay, that's fair. I tell you what, I'm just gonna build you a little scenario right here, and you guys can do a visual. You know, it's about 3:00 in the morning. You get up, you know, you make you a couple sandwiches, and you got a cup of coffee and a thermos. You get in your car, you head down to the dock. You're launching your boat about 3:30, and just cruising out there at night, you know, on the river. It's all nice and dark. You have the industrial complexes over on the shoreline, and it's all lit up in multicolors cascading across the river. You anchor up out there, and it's just quiet. The sun's starting to come up. There's nothing. I mean, it's just quiet. It's peaceful and quiet. You get a beautiful sunrise. And as soon as that first little crevice of fingernail daylight comes across that horizon, boom, your line's in the water. And, it's just, you're sitting up there, it's quiet, and it's just like all of a sudden all hell breaks loose, Your line is just banging hard, you're real screaming. Man, you get that thing, it all depends on what fish you're fishing at, but if you're fishing for Chinook, you'll let them take it. You don't just sit there and pop him. You pull that reel up out of the holder and he's still taking it. As soon as he's at the end of it, then you set. A lot of times when he takes it, you try to set it, you'll just pull it right out of his mouth. But let him take it. But, then you've got 10 or 15 minutes of a nice battle, one-on-one, and you get that fish on the boat. And if you're by yourself, fishing day's done. You're home by 6:30 in the morning, just in time to get a good breakfast to go up on the rivers. Instead of that, when you go up inland and go on a river and go fish. But it was just something about being out there on the Columbia River or being out in the mouth of Astoria, going out Buoy 10. I like launching out of Chinook, Washington. And El Waco's just up around the bend, but I got a straight shot over to the center of the rivers and go up the channel, go up about half a mile above the bridge, the Astoria Bridge, and then just drift on down, go on out, fish that area for a while, then put out the Buoy 10, fish out there. And last time I was down there was last year in August, and they opened it up, I think it was from the 20th to the 22nd. So you had 20, you had 3 days you actually could fish. So I got to fish 2 of them and brought back about 42 pounds of salmon.
Wow.
2 days.
Well, is the way. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, I was just going to say, moving to Idaho, I mean, that's a different kind of fishing here than it is than what you're used to. So that had to be kind of a little. Well, you had to learn a new way to do your craft, didn't you?
You got to get up earlier in Idaho. What's different there?
Yeah.
Well, the water's different. It's different.
It
water.
is. I'm used to fishing freshwater river up in Washington, like the Green River that will come in. It comes into the Toutle River, the one that got all messed up by St. Helens. Okay. That dumps into the Calais River, which the Calais River is fantastic, from, you can go up above the Toutle and fish that area above Castle Rock and all up around that way in Washington, and beautiful fishing, beautiful river fishing. Upper Lakes, you can go in for kokanee. I'm really looking forward to learning the 4 species of trout they have at Lake Tahoe. That will be my next adventure.
So Steve, how? Go ahead, Gary. I just wonder, how long have you been a fisherman? I guess. How long is it something you started as a boy? Or
I was 7 years old, and my next door neighbor, I lived in Palmdale, California, and my mom said I can go with this family next door. They went up to I think it was Lake Elsinore, and we went up there, and he brought a bunch of poles and a bunch of mealworms, and we fished, and we just caught tons of crappie. I mean, from that time forward, and bluegill and crappie, and from that time forward, I was hooked. I went fishing whenever I got a chance. So once I could become self-employed and self-financed, and I fished all the time.
So you've talked about that, and that's an awesome intro there. The scenario setting and getting yourself out there and feeling that peace, and then the ride of the fish hitting the line. Man, what a great setup that is. Is that your best fishing day?
Actually, No, that's a really, anytime, we'll say fishing for like Chinook salmon, you're fishing with bigger lures, different types of lures. You fish the spring and you fish the summer salmon different than you fish the fall Chinook, even though the fall Chinook are usually bigger. Okay, that's the last run coming in. And that's like a C run. You got the A's, springers, I call them A's, and then B's, they call them summers. I call them a B run. And then they call them fall Chinook, which I call a C run. So it makes it easy. But anyway, C's are big, and that's one you really look forward to. But you fish them a lot different than you fish for the springers and the summer Chinooks. You fish them a lot different.
So which one of those is the best one for you? What do you like?
Springers, without doubt. Springer salmon that's the first run that comes in, and they're fresh, they're silver. I mean, they're muscle, their meat's strong. They've been out there feeding in the ocean for 3 months. They're ready to go up, man. They're fat and they're mean.
Mean.
You got one thing on their mind,
So Steve, you like a bit of the battle then? You like the bit of the battle?
Oh, I'll tell you what, they're stronger. Fall Chinook are bigger, so when you pop into them, and you're deeper because you're down 50 foot with those guys, and you're using a lot bigger weight. But when the springers come in, 20 to 30 pound springer, you've only got 6 ounces of weight on that, and you got your lure. So there's basically no restriction. You just run and fish. You're fighting just fish. Where fall Chinook, you can have 24, 32 ounces of weight to get it down where you want it. And then you hook a 30-pound salmon. Now it's like trying to pull up a barn door. You got a 2-mile-an-hour current pushing you. So then you usually have to, pop off your ball and let your boat drift and try to get that fish out into the shipping channel and drift out there and stay with him. When he goes downriver, you go down with him. If he goes upriver, you can go upriver with him, but you're still right above him and you're getting him up. And that's a different kind of a fight. But the springers down in you're only fishing 20 foot of water, and it's colder water. That water's 40 to 46 degrees. Where fall Chinook, you're fishing, the water could be 72 degrees.
Right.
Yeah, you can pull your gear up from 56 feet and feel your weight ball. And it's literally warm.
Really?
Okay? Wow. Yeah, literally warm. So it's a whole different fishery. But the best one though is that springer. That first run that comes in. They're strong. They're mean. They're big. they're just bright rainbow colored. Just beautiful little fish.
How do you know where to go? How do you know where to go find these springers?
Just like anything else, Gary. It's time tested. Okay.
Justin,
like anything else, buddy.
Go for it. I'm not telling you.
At a river. Yeah, those spots are like, hey, they're worth a lot of money, And the best thing that you do, if you're really sneaky enough and the good guides, well, you just kind of like drift around where they're at. You see what they're doing and what they're using. You take a couple guide trips and you see what they're doing, where they're going.
My dad always used to say the number one thing you need is the number one tool you need to be a good fisherman is a set of binoculars. So you can see what the guy who's next to you in the boat is using.
that too. But something, and to be like right now, if I go down to American Falls, if I went out there I haven't been out there, but if I go out there for the first time, I want a guide. I want to know. If he wants to know, he goes, what do you want to fish for? I go, I want the big Mackinaw. I want to go down there and catch a 30-pound mac. And I don't want to go for no lake trout. I want to go for no brown, nothing like that, or even a sturgeon. I just want to go for that 30-pound Mackinaw. And so I want to see where he goes, how deep he's fishing, what he's using, what his line is, what his leader weight is, what his weight is, if he's using a downrigger or is he dropping a lead ball. I want to know what he's doing. Yeah. Well, I got to go once, and I'll know, what he's using. Yeah. And then, hey, the rest is just history. You take a boat out with a friend. You're not paying for the guide service. You just load up on some bait and go.
So, Steve, when you're out somewhere for the first time, say you haven't had a guide, what's the length between your testing of your first lure, then you move on to your second one, to your third one, till you hit the sweet spot? How long will you give a lure a try before you switch out?
Okay, well, first of all, I will be mapping the bottom for probably before daylight, okay? I want to know what's under me. I want to know if I see anything. I want to know what the depths are. Are they in the column? In other words, are they somewhere suspended from, top water to bottom? They might be in the column at 30 foot. You don't know. Now, if they're in the column, man, I'm throwing down a lure. I'm going to run it down probably 6 foot behind a flasher and probably run that flasher off of a 3 foot drop and with a 1 foot lead drop to get it down to where I want, because I don't really want to put a downrigger down at 20 feet, 30 feet. Mm-hmm. And then you just go ahead and start testing your speeds. You can go 1 mile an hour, 1.5, 2 mile an hour, and see what hits. See if you can shake something up. And usually I like to go with live bait, and so that's, if you can buy it, you can. If you can't buy it, then I'll go frozen and just use a cut herring, cut sardine, whatever.
Okay.
And see what that does.
So larger fish, larger bait, then.
That's right. Yeah. And a lot of times you're on the ocean down there. What's that?
What's the largest amount of bait we're talking about here?
Actually, sometimes if we're out in the ocean, okay, buoy 10, or you can swing out to one of those little rock piles out there in the ocean and try to catch some kingfish or catch anything you can that up to a foot.
Really?
If you go out tuna fishing, go 20, 30, 40, 50 miles offshore, then that's another fishery too. That's fantastic. And you're using live, anchovies there, and sometimes you try to get as big as one as you can.
So have you been tuna?
Oh yeah.
Fish for tuna out there?
Right out of Chinook, man. That's the best place to go. Right out of Chinook.
I've never done that. I can only imagine. I see it, and I suppose it's all, there's a little bit of romance, I suppose, when you watch it on those shows, but man, that's got to be a trip.
There's one that, gosh, which one was it? There was a show. I think they only did it 1 year. It was about tuna fishing out of Westport, Washington. Okay, and they had it was set up like Wicked Tuna. They had like 5 or 6 boats, and God, half of them were derelicts. But I hate to say it. I just go, Jesus, why would you go on national TV like this? But there was 3 or 4 of them that were good. There were 3 or 4 of them that were smart, and they did it for business. One guy made $225,000 in the tuna season, and he had 3 guys on a little one. Well, I can't remember. I think the boat size was probably, I don't know, it might have been 30 foot, 35 foot. But those guys, they went out there and they did it. They worked their butts off and they made some money. But I go out there for fun, and a lot of times, what you can do, you can catch them from 20 miles and out. Okay. The trick is to have a boat that you can get out there to the fishing grounds in about an hour and a half. That's the trick. If you get on a little, guide boat, the little diesel pusher that pushes out there, 3 nautical miles in an hour, it takes you 8 hours to get out there. You get the fish for like 3 hours, and then it gets 8 hours to get you back in. Where you get on a boat that will hit 50 miles an hour out there, and you get on a nice day, and boom, you're on the fishing grounds in an hour. Then you got all day to fish.
This is great. This is fascinating, Steve. We got to be close to the end of this thing, so I want to get some good questions out here and have you share some of your wisdom. I mean, when you catch a fish, you're cooking that fish. You're eating that big boy, aren't you?
A lot of times there in Longview, it was how do they say, catch and cook. Time elapsed. Most of the times we're only about 3 hours.
Yeah. So what you got any special fish recipes here?
Yeah, I got a lot of them. Want me to send you some pictures? I can show you some hellacious salmon meals. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean, what a cool thing to do from enjoyment at the beginning of the day. Taking your time, going to different places all the way. You keep talking about fresh water, the Calais River. You said. I think I heard you toss in Columbia. I heard earlier on we were talking about this. You said Saskatchewan. My gosh, you've been all over the place and so many fish.
Yeah, like I say, I've been from the Umpqua River, which has got a beautiful Chinook run, an A, B, and C run. They got a beautiful A, B coho run, which they're really known for their big coho salmon. And I love fishing that river, all the way up to Homer, Alaska. I've gone out there in the Cook Inlet and halibut fish, salmon fish, and Sitka. Probably the greatest salmon run there is probably right there in Sitka in the world. In the world. So,
yeah. Oh my gosh, there's a timer going off. But I'm sorry, guys. Here I am. I used to kid you guys about going over time. I got to ask one more question here.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Steve, this is awesome. But is there a place that you haven't been yet that you would love to go fishing at?
Yeah.
Where?
Idaho. I want to get one of those big Mackinaws, man. That's what I'm going at. Before I leave, mark my words, Gary, before I leave here, I'm going to be holding up a Big Mac and just looking at you, buddy.
I was going to ask Steve if he had done any East Coast fishing or it's just all West Coast fishing.
It's all West Coast.
Everyone listens know I'm from the East Coast. I only have one fishing story from the East Coast, but
you know what's really a lot of fun? But like say, my next challenge is going to be Lake Tahoe. But not only is it going to be Tahoe, but I'm going to fly around the top of Tahoe around there when a nice cool day. I'm going to see some of those upper lakes, and I tell you what, those are the ones that go up there and get those big old upper brooks and those big golden trout.
Yeah,
them big browns. Those are the fun ones.
So I just want to point out just one other thing. I don't have a lot of interaction with Steve, but I have had some interactions with him over time, and this is the most animated I have ever seen him.
Yeah, you can tell.
You got the right subject.
Yeah. Hey, well, Steve, you've been awesome to join us on this thing, and I want to bring it to a close, but. It's kind of cool to get somebody with your level of experience and especially this passion here. I see it, Paul. But I want to say, is there anything you'd like to tell? Because there's other guys out there who are hearing this, listening to this right now, watching it maybe, and they're thinking maybe I'd like to try this. What kind of a tip would you give them for the first starters, the guys who want to get out?
For around here, I couldn't give a tip. The tip would be, hey, take me fishing. Okay, that's a tip you're going to get from me right here. But what I'd like to know is I could give them all kinds of ways how to catch big salmon on that Columbia River, but I'd like to know what they're doing here to catch those big Macs. And I've got a pretty good idea what they're using. And I've gone on YouTube and I've looked at everything and sat here with envy for a year thinking, God, I can't wait to get out of here. Go fishing, but I will be fishing here before too long. I'll guarantee you that.
Great, that's awesome.
Can't go without that.
That's awesome, Paul. Did you have something?
Yeah, the most important question out of the entire thing.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
Well, actually, I have not hit the 50-pound salmon mark, but I have hit over 40 on the Chinook. Okay, I have caught a 37-pound coho up in Washington, and I've only caught one steelhead that he wasn't quite 20 pounds. I haven't hit the 20-pound steelhead mark yet, but I know a lot of people that have hit the 20 and even high 20s, but I haven't hit that 20. I guess that would probably be one of the goals I would like to try to achieve, is to get into that 20-pound bracket of steelhead.
Great question, Paul.
How do you even cook a 20-pound fish?
Well, first of all, you're only going to get about each slab, 20-pound salmon. You're probably going to get about 2 8-pound slabs off of him. There's many ways to cook it. I'll make your mouth drool 25 different ways.
Excellent. I'll take you up on that.
Okay, yeah, because I know my wife, her favorite, she's got a couple of favorite ways, but she really loves the salmon tacos and a mango salsa.
That's good.
Those are like her favorites.
That's a whole nother show right there, man. We need to. In fact, that's a live stream show right there. We can talk about that.
That's going to have
that is a good idea. Live streaming.
Look it on site.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Steve, we thank you for being on the show.
Okay.
That was a great conversation, and actually, it just sort of got me ready. Yeah, I got to get out and fish.
Yeah.
Got to do something,
you guys.
See, Gary, I told you Jason's probably fished before.
Yeah, you're right. I got some hidden gurus here. Steve, thanks for joining us. Our time is up, and I've taken you over that. I so appreciate your being willing to share your stories and your wisdom.
Sure.
These two guys are ready to go fishing. I think I might join them. I'll stay on shore and maintain the crew.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, Steve Quinton is one of our associates. He works with us here at Continuing Ed Workforce Training. We're really grateful to have him. You can see he's an avid, passionate fisherman. And good luck on your next trip going out, Steve. We are sweet. Hope our audience has learned something, gotten a little excitement about fishing, getting out there as soon as COVID lets you go for it. Hope you all take a few minutes and join us at cetrain.isu.edu. And everybody, once again, be safe and be safe out there, and thanks for joining us at Sweet Talk.
Right on. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.